Hey guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel. This is the second day here in our mega project. We're gonna be showing you how to prep and prime all the walls. Stay tuned so you won't miss out on any details. If you missed yesterday's episode, we basically focused on removing all of the carpet and the flooring. Definitely check it out on the channel. Right now, I just arrived with the shower pan, the walls, and the ceiling paint. The walls and the shower panel, we're going to be installing that at a later video. But today, our main focus is to get everything ready so that way we can spray all of the primer to the ceiling and the walls. The nice thing, since we already removed all the flooring, we can simply just spray everything. So we're going to be covering the windows and also covering the holes. I went to our local box store and I purchased this joint compound. We really like this one because it applies, the color is like a light purple pinkish color, and then as it dries it will turn white, and then at that point you know that it's ready to sand and just continue with the process. So that's basically what we're doing right here. We applied the joint compound to cover up all of the holes, and then we just have this little sponge sander and we're just sanding down the walls wherever it's needed. So whenever we come here and we start spraying the primer on there, it will be the best finish possible. And the strategy that we have with that is, since this apartment, it smelled quite a bit with like smoke and different odors, we're actually gonna be applying the primer in 2 separate coats. And here in the kitchen, we basically already removed all of the cabinets and we just emptied out this entire room. So the only thing we had left for today is to take out this refrigerator and also the stove. One of the things you want to keep in mind is just be really careful whenever you're moving these appliances. Make sure that you have somebody responsible always at the job site. And what I like to do is every morning have a quick meeting with my foreman just to go over the tasks, whatever they're gonna do throughout the day, and then just to point out these little details, you know, because that's gonna go a long way. We've had it before, you know, where we had some workers doing the project, they're moving things like this, and they just weren't super careful. And then, you know, at the very end, when we go there to try to collect the check payment, the owner, you know, they bring up the famous painter's tape, and they just put a bunch of tape everywhere, wherever there was like nooks and dings, you know, from just moving things around. So by being really careful with this type of stuff, you can avoid all of those headaches. And like in this case, you know, I brought my dump trailer so they can easily just bring it down, throw it in there, and then they can be done with it. So, you know, yesterday I was able to load up the dump trailer like super full, and today we just have a few things. So I only brought it here for a few hours, and then I'm gonna take it back home because this area is a little questionable. So we're gonna use this Graco sprayer. It's gonna come in super handy, so we can just basically paint this entire 2-bedroom apartment within the same day. Another quick tip that you're gonna wanna do is just to make sure you sweep up everything. Even if you have a vacuum, that's better. So you can basically vacuum everything, pick up all of the dust. So whenever you're advancing, you know, with the sprayer or moving around, we're not kicking up all this dust and it's gonna affect our paint, you know, or the finish. We're also removing any nails. One thing, whenever we demoed all of this flooring yesterday, we noticed that there was still a lot of loose nails in several spots, you know. So we're gonna be removing those, just cleaning everything up beforehand so we don't struggle with it later when we start spraying. because, you know, once our painter, he gets going with that sprayer, you know, we don't want him to be running into anything that's inconvenient or obstacles. And that's why we're spending a little bit of extra time to just, you know, clean everything up really nice. And then also, like in this case, mask off all the windows, anything that doesn't need to be painted. But pretty much everything else, you know, we're gonna prime the whole thing, because like I mentioned before, when we came here on the first day, we noticed that there was really bad smells, and we're pretty sure that the previous tenants or whoever lived here, they smoked inside of this unit. So that's why we're just, you know, taking our extra precaution, cleaning up everything. And, you know, once we prime it, we're gonna apply 2 separate coats, so that way it will seal it up really nice. Now, the type of primer that we're gonna be using, it's the Kills. I would say, you know, that's one of the more popular brands. Pretty much everyone knows that one, you know, and that's what they request. So it's really good, you know, for sealing the drywall, the ceiling and the walls, just everything. And they even have another option where it's like for mold and mildew, which we'll use if we're ever dealing with that in the bathroom, kitchen area. But in this case, we didn't really have the problem, you know. Most of what you see here is just kind of like scrapes and marks on the wall. Now, as we start spraying this primer, you're gonna notice a big difference, you know. Like right here on the left side, you can see the color of how it used to be just throughout the years. You know, it almost looked like a beige color. But now, once we spray everything, it just brightened the space, everything up, you know. So once we apply the primer, then we're gonna let it dry. Then the following day, we're gonna come back to paint the ceilings white. And then for the walls, we're not gonna paint them until after we install the flooring and we take care of a bunch of details. Like right here, we're basically covering this, you know, this wall heating element. This one's gonna stay, so that's why we're just masking it and protecting it. We're gonna be replacing 4 other ones that I'll show you on a separate video. But, you know, those, we just basically mask it off, and then we're just gonna, you know, spray everything around it. And then afterwards, once we complete a lot of these tasks, we're gonna come back and then paint the walls. I believe they're gonna choose like a kind of like a beige color for this apartment. And the reason why we wait to paint the walls near the very end, that's because, you know, since we're gonna be doing quite a bit of work here, pretty much renovating this entire apartment complex, or the, you know, the 2-bedroom apartment. You know, we're basically, we run into the issue where sometimes we will, you know, scrape the walls, or we will kind of scuff them and all that. So if we wait until almost near the very end, then it's just a really quick, just rolling the walls, and we don't have that issue, you know. So right here we have this bookshelf that was painted black. We're also gonna be priming it and painting it white, so it just brightens everything up. But that's pretty much the entire process for the second day. You know, tomorrow, stay tuned for the additional updates. But thanks for watching. Consider subscribing to our channel and hit the like button. If you have any questions, let us know. May God bless you, and stay tuned for tomorrow's video.